Alright, Kemi, let's take a look at your paper. MLA format first. This needs to be the same font as the rest of the paper, so make sure that is Times New Roman. Everything here is good. I love the title, so that works well. The beginning part is a little too vague, a little too general. I know it's going to jump right into your topic here about desire and race for power. So I wanted something maybe a little bit more specific, a little bit more eye-catching here at the beginning. I think this is supposed to be the word perilous consequences, so you might want to fix that. Because really your attention getter is only one sentence. I really want you to build into that topic. And you get into this, Macbeth becomes addicted to the thought of becoming king and earning power over others. Alright, then we get into I'm not sure what. You have two sentences here, both underlined. You're supposed to underline the thesis. Your thesis is supposed to be one sentence. And I was trying to figure out which exactly one was supposed to be your thesis. However, once Macbeth possesses this power hunger, his inclination for attaining this authority over others is betrayed through his actions and sinful commitments towards anyone who is a threat. That seems more like plot. This next one seems more like your main points. It's out of order, I think. Because I think your prophecy 1 is your third body paragraph, if I looked ahead correctly, which would lead me to believe that this is actually your thesis statement. So I'm not exactly sure where you are going with this, and maybe as I read more closely your body paragraphs it'll be clear, but this is definitely, I'm not sure what's going on, because your thesis, I mean, I know you can not make your thesis the final sentence, but in terms of flow, I think it's just going to work a lot better. So try to fix that and really make sure that I know which one is which. Alright, and after reading the first one, this really does look like your thesis statement because, and this is where writing a good thesis statement is important. Alright, so he abuses power by murdering Duncan and Banquo. So one thing, Kemi, that you did actually try, which is having a really good topic sentence, which a lot of your classmates didn't have at all. And this isn't a bad topic sentence, except the problem is you also talk about Macduff's family. So it's not just murdering Duncan and Banquo, it's murdering anyone close to him reveals his wanting to have dominance. And here's your other problem. This is all show. There's no analysis in here whatsoever. This is all plot. He first kills Duncan to do this, then he has 3 murderers kill Banquo because he wants to keep power. And the quote is fine. I would even add in that he manipulates them, right? And he tries to convince them that Banquo has done them wrong, if you remember that scene correctly. So you could even add that in here. He also murders Macduff's family out of revenge due to him being a threat to his authority over others. Okay, and this might be your only kind of analysis, and even then it's not really. These ghastly actions validate how Macbeth will do anything to save his ascendancy. Again, it's not really analysis. And the problem is, again, because if this truly is your thesis statement, it's just plot, which means all you can do down in your body is just give plot. And again, maybe it'll change as we get to the next one, but there's a lot of show in here and not a lot of plot. I do like your word choice. You're trying to use different words, ascendancy. I think you're doing a really good job of trying to use different words. Impotence, crucial impotence. Okay. So, anyways, good job with that. Strong transition statement, which is right here. I would love to have more than just this as your topic sentence, because I really don't think you've adequately got a good topic sentence yet with this. So. That would be nice. Here's the other thing, just as a way to show organization or to show the amount of information. Like, I can just look at this paragraph, Kemi, and tell you that it's too short. I know you don't have enough stuff in here because if you use a sentence of, if you use a topic sentence, at least a couple of sentences of show, you should have at least three sentences of mean, and I bet you don't have that many sentences in this. Well, maybe you do have that many sentences, but it might be too short. So anyways, just looking at the paragraphs, I can tell you probably need a little bit more information in them. Alright, and this is another unfortunately good example of what you did in the last paragraph. It's just all plot. There's even a couple things I question. I mean, word choice is important, but he begins to use power a couple way too many times in here. Ever since we called upon his power, because it portrays egotistical power of Lady Macbeth in a lackadaisical way. I don't think there's anything lackadaisical about how Macbeth portrays power. And then Lady Macbeth no longer needs to ask Macbeth if he is a man. Well, he does. She does that in the middle of the play because of his whole freaking out about Banquo. Because his actions show he has obtained the power of a fearless character. Well, again, that scene, he's not fearless. He's scared out of his mind because of Banquo's ghost being there. So be careful of that. He shows no compassion or gratitude towards his wife. I don't know if he's ever showed gratitude at all towards his wife in the whole play. Simply because of these things. Okay. Now, you've again got all the way and have just done show. This example embellishes how Macbeth's attention is only on obtaining his self-seeking power and nothing else. Again, all you have to contribute is Macbeth wanted power, and that's it. Up here, he killed people because he wanted power. He'll do anything to have power, and that's it. That's all you can get out of this. So having a strong thesis statement would be great. Now, I don't know if this is where you meant to go with it, but you can talk a lot about this drive for power reveals his false face of a power-hungry man. And then after you give these examples, you could jump into this concept because he puts on a false face with Duncan and Banquo and Macduff all at the same time. He puts on a false face of being the loving husband, but ultimately at the end he doesn't care about her. So I think you can jump into that. What you have as the last sentence of your introduction, you could jump into as your thesis if you wanted to. All right. So the prophecies, which I would argue is out of order. Although he lost his wife, his thirst for more power still arises. Well, no. He got the prophecies before he lost his wife. So you would want to flip-flop the order of these sentences to make it more chronologically appropriate. I mean, this kind of sounds a little too melodramatic for Macbeth. He struggles to free himself from obsession and demands more prophecies from the weird sisters. I mean, I guess that's appropriate. That he's trying to free himself from. He struggles to free himself from obsession. I don't know if he's trying to free himself at all. I don't know. He does indulge in it though. That's for sure. All right, so you got the prophecies here. You got one little punctuation mistake, which. Not surprisingly, I think you are pretty good at punctuation here. Surprising that your classmates have way more than you, Kemi. You've done a really good job with punctuation and homophones and all that kind of stuff. So good job with that. So you got a period there that doesn't belong, and then you have these. He disobeys nature to preserve possession of his power, and he utilizes these prophecies and disobeys nature. I feel like you could really talk more about this because I think the next part that you have. Okay, let me back up. Sorry, Kemi. Quoting the prophecies, I don't think is a smart move. As far as it doesn't add anything to the paper, especially an analysis paper. When you get to the test, they don't want you to quote plot. They want you to quote. Something from the piece that can be analyzed. So just quoting the plot points aren't going to be enough. This would be a better example of something you'd want to use an embedded quote for that has heart, my fear, right? One word more. And you could even emphasize this whole one word more, and go back to this obsession piece that you talked about at the beginning. And remember that one word more leads to them talking about Banquo and his kids, which gets him afraid again. So you could talk about that a little bit. But this could be the beginning of a really good analysis piece. Disobeying nature, reserving possession. You don't get any deeper here with the analysis, or go back to the false face, right? And maybe it's the false face that he puts out, that he's invincible. That these prophecies have made him invincible, and that's the false face that he's going to put out to anyone when really he does know he has weaknesses, and that's trees coming and a man that's not born of woman, but he refuses to believe those things. So that could be a way that you could go with that quote here at the end of your third body paragraph. Conclusion, remember you're going to underline your thesis statement. Hopefully we're going to get a new one here, or just use the one at the end of your introduction as your thesis statement. So you have the repeated central idea. You jump into this. See, here's my problem with your conclusion. You repeat a lot of stuff in your introduction. There's not enough maybe new things to kind of wrap it up. And I know you need to summarize, but a lot of these statements are almost word for word stuff from your introduction. Remember, your main points each get a body paragraph. This is a run-on sentence, or a sentence fragment. It's not actually a complete sentence right here. So you'd want to rewrite this, and you want to rewrite this anyway because these are all your main points. Get a sentence of summary for each main point and what it's proving. You go back to human nature, will do anything they need to be a tyrant, become the alpha over others, revealing their false face. But again, you never even talk about this concept of false face, and you really could in the piece. Make sure the book gets underlined or italicized, so make sure that that happens, but everything else is good. Chemi, organizationally, you're good. Word choice wise, you do okay. But it's just getting that actual analysis in there. You're really missing that. And I think once you hit on that false face concept and you can add that into all your body paragraphs, it's going to be a really good looking essay. So good luck on a rewrite.